Guys, sorry, it lost all my information. So I had to retype everything. That's why I'm late. Okay. Let's see. Volume down. Okay, there we go. Awesome. I am glad you're here. Both of you. Two of my good buds. So, I still got bead remnants out. I tried to work upstairs in my upstairs studio today, but it was too overwhelming. So I came back down here. I don't want Sennelier tonight. No Sennelier. Okay. So let's see. First thing I'm going to do, let me get rid of all this stuff on my desk. I've got to put this back together. Turn it around. There we go. And we can go down. So somebody asked me why I make sure I have a sample sheet like that in it. This is why, because if you spill, now I know where to put everything back to. So let me, green goes there. Of course, the problem with watercolors is they all look about the same. So I gotta figure this out. I was carrying too much back because I am a person that carries as much as possible in one load. My husband always laughs at me. Let's see, I can get this wet. I have to test out some of these colors. What am I going to test it on? I'll test it on this, the back. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so let's start with this color here. Looks like a blue. Go to bed, Remy. He's coming. That blue-gray is ocean blue, I'm guessing. We'll leave it halfway tipped out until I got them all done. Okay. Let's see. This is a gray. That's a gray. This is a purple. So which purples are we got going on here? Okay. This should be the fort. Yep. Port. Not fort. Port. This one should be, let me clean my brush off. This one should be juniper. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, what color are you? Yeah, juniper. Let's leave that one there. So I know you were eating Skittles tonight, Cindy, and I was like, I want some Skittles. I could have a couple of them, but the sugar might kill me. Let's see. I think that's dark indigo, which is 2 down, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to leave it like that. This should be steel blue. Look at that. That is steel blue. Okay. I keep hitting, I have my watercolor pad half over my water thing. So I keep hitting my paper every time I put that in. Let's see. This is the blue too. So this must be slate green. I think. Oh, is that slate green? No, I think I'm going to put that one in here. But then there's that one. Oh my gosh, these may never be right. This one right here is graphite, I believe. Let's put the water on there, put some water on you. Okay, and I'll have to test you again. So, this is not how I like to spend my time. That's graphite. I was right about that one. Oh, goodness, that's going to be hard for me. Okay, so that's this one. There. Oh, we'll do it this way. This one. This is a blue. That's still blue. It was blue last time I tested it. Let's see what color this one pulls out. It pulls out. Huh. Juniper, aubergine. Maybe this one's dark indigo. But I don't like any of them for that purple. This must, no, that's definitely a gray. Oh, I don't know. That's all I've got patience for tonight. These are, they're graphitins is what they're called. They're by Derwent. And they're graphite colors. And they come in, they don't, so they're like graphite. So they're the pencil graphite, but then they have the colors. And they come in this nice box with its own water brush if you use those, which is great for traveling. I just don't use them. I don't have to. I'm putting that away. I do love these. I haven't painted anything with them, but I am going to go out this summer and do some urban sketching. There used to be a group here in Denver, and we'd meet up, and it was $5 every time we did it, which isn't that big a deal. But then, the thing hit. And I don't think that woman ever started the group up. Sorry, I yawdied. Okay, first off, I was going to show you. Barbie, you won't probably care about this, but Cindy might. So I went to Hobby Lobby and they had their sketchbooks on sale, like really good price. So I bought, I paid, of course I put the thing over it. I paid like $3 for the sketchbook, and it's a 8.5 by 11. So in it, these are what I'm working on. I do master boards. Let me get you out there. So these are already done. This one's not done because I haven't finished putting on my sign language. But here's one that's just papers, and it's ready to go. So I can scan it, or I can cut it out and make it into something. And then this is one of all my stamps that I made. I love stamps, if you didn't know, and I have tons. You're so in love with watercolor. Great. Watercolor painting is the best, I think. It's so fun. Oh, I have to go grab what I made for you, too. This one is all, it was like that, what's that paper called that you can see through? Vellum. These were all like vellum pieces, probably from Temu or Wish or whatever. And so those are all on. These were all stickers of famous women artists that have done portraits. They're not all women because there are some men in here, but they're all famous. So I did that background. And then I got a pack of these, and it was all Asian restaurants and Asian writing. So I put one of those together for a background. Then these are my ladies, the sewing ladies. It didn't turn out quite as good as I thought, but I have some thoughts on how to make it better. And then I collect all my thank yous from everybody's packages, and I'll put them in. So eventually this will be a whole page. So you can see sometimes people write my name on it. Sometimes down here too. This was a brand new one I just got. So I'll have a lot of the same, but that's okay. That's what makes it fun. Then I got a sticker pack of anatomy. And I love all the brain and skull ones and hands. So all the others I'm not necessarily going to use. So I used them in here and made a background for that. Then this one is all just little strippies. I call it the strippy one. So these are all strips that I had left over. Some of them are big. This right here, Miss Cindy Lou Bob, is one of your poles. I had the sides of it. That's one of my favorite ones. I used all of it. I mean, like every last scrap I've used. And then this one's getting started. I'm going to do it industrial. So it has all of these different ones. This one is all mulberry papers. So I glued them down. This one is all just little squares that I have left over. There's one of your pink ones, Cindy. And then I have another one of yours. Oh, here, up here. That's one of the newer ones I got from you. And it's right here too. So I keep every scrap and use them. If the scraps are this size, a square like this, like a 1x2 or a 2x2, I'll keep those because I like using them. This right here is some of what I'm going to do today. This is from my friend Kim Hessen. If you don't follow her, she's awesome. Oh, and there's another piece of yours down here, Cindy, under this one. She does mixed media I mean, like, she's amazing. It's Kim, and then Hessen is Hesson, and she's on Instagram. And so she makes backgrounds uses watercolor on the pages. So we're going to do some of that tonight. Look, it's all Cindy Lou Bob. This was one, and I'm not a blue person. I realized I don't use a lot of blue or purple, even though I like purple and blue. So I made a background for it. I may go in and decorate these. I may go in and scan them and then never do anything with them. I don't know. They're here for me. This one is just different, like scrapbook stuff that I had. So it's going. It's starting. And then, let's see. If you know me very long, you know I'm not going to go in order. This one's going to be all maps or atlases. So I have, this one was from National Geographic. This is from an actual map. This is from National Geographic or Lifetime down here, or Life down there. So I'll have all of that. Maybe if I stand it up a little bit straighter, we can get it. I'll have all that one. And then this is my favorite. I don't know why, it's silly. These are all little squares, and I got them of tissue paper, and it didn't run. I used liquid glue, and then I switched to my favorite glues, but to the glue stick, but it did not run. These are all, you can buy them from Michael's in a pack, and they have one of every color is on here at least once. So they have the purple, the light blue, purple, turquoise, light blue, dark blue, red, green, yellow, orange, pink, and I think that's all of them. And so I put them on, and I love this page. I'll probably do another one, and I may just do it out of blues and greens, and then do one out of the warm colors. Then this is a Cindy Lou Bob page too, guys. These, oh no, I don't have yours on here yet. So these are from France. I bought these from on Instagram. There's a couple that sells things. And so these are all labels from France. This one is another one I collected somewhere. And so Cindy sent me some, or I bought them. I don't know how, I don't know what, but some labels for liquor. These are all medicine, so I'm not sure I'm going to put the liquor on here, but I'll finish that. I went ahead and started it, so it'll get done. This is all vintage pieces of paper. This, I believe, is from Pam. She sent me a thing, and this is an old piece of newspaper that's falling apart, so I can't really save it. I mean, it literally just disintegrates in your hand. So I've used what I could of that. A lot of these are in other languages. And then I'm going to do one with tickets. So I have a ticket stubs. So I'll just, as I get them, or find them, I'll do that. I just did this one tonight. This is from a book, and it has all these flowers. And let's see, hold on. And then I don't think I have any. Then I save these, and I use them for cards. Actually, I use them to make my tags, and my they're the backgrounds for my tags and my ATC cards, because they're heavier. so I have a bunch of these. And so I'm going to do a whole page of just the packaging materials. Because, I mean, it's gorgeous. I use it in my collages, too. I like it. Then I was a little dumb, and I did this upside down. Upside down and backwards. But here's one of the ones I did for a background. I have to finish it. My pen ran out of ink. And so I have to order some more micro ones. So that's in there because I do draw in my sketchbooks too. This will probably be this first sketchbook that I ever like totally finish. My husband is so excited. Yes, and I've done that before with kids. One of the classes I taught. But yes, it is cool to watch it. It's also cool if you get one of those if you tap a brush that has alcohol on it, like isopropyl alcohol on it, onto non-color fast tissues. So I may do that on them. This I did obviously at St. Patrick's Day, and this is all out of napkins. And this was one napkin, this was one, then there was the plaid one. So there's 3 different napkins in there. So I did that. And then that may be all. Oh, no. Oh, I'm saving her. I'm going to make a doll out of her. So I've got her in here. So I'm going to make her a doll. And it'll be a 3D. Well, no, I'll be able to post her down. But I'm going to I'm not sure. She may stay free, and I may attach her legs and arms. It's not hers. It'll be somebody different. Maybe put a cat head on it or something. Those are always funny. I got a few more pages, and then I practiced some of my drawings in here. So I did these last month, and I just was practicing. I don't draw this kind of flower a lot. So this is a striped coral root, striped coral root. This is a Mexican hat flower. They're not exact, but they're not bad. I did it more of a sketchy style. I did it with ink purely. I didn't do any pencil first. This is a sago lily, and this is a mission bells. These are. And then I worked on some leaves, different leaf structures, because these aren't the kind of leaf structures I usually do. Then there's more room. And then, oh, that's going to be hard for you to see. I had a new metallic silver ink that I got from Temu. And so I practiced some of my wonky houses that I do. And then these are all for stamp ideas. I'm going to carve my own stamps. So these are some of those ideas. And these are all pretty much doodles that I do on the regular. On the down low, I do them all the time. And then these were new ones for me. I did a paintbrush. I did a palette. And then, this is a glass jar. That's the water. And you put it like a bell jar or something. That's as far as I got on it. And then I don't think I have very many pages. So Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, she has done a series. So she has her best to least favorite student grade watercolors. So I have that. I wrote the list out. Then she has her favorite professional watercolors, and that was a lot longer. That was 3 pages, front, back. Of course, this one she just put out, and I think it was 40 or 45 minutes. Her favorite professional watercolors and all of her palettes. I'll have to look at that masterboard. Oh, yes, with the old ladies. They weren't old. They were yes. I watched it. I gave you a thumbs up. This one she did was 2.5 hours long. So it has her favorites. And then on here, I wrote my favorites, which are a lot of her favorites. And the ones, I don't like all the ones she does. Some of the ones she is like totally head over heels for. I haven't even tried. So I put them over here. And then the ones I want to try or retry, because some of them I have tried before. I have tried the shin hands before, and she says they're good now. So I don't know. I might retry those. And then she did a metallics one professional grade. Oh, yes. Yes. She has one of those. If you can't ever find like on YouTube, she also has a blog, and she puts a lot of stuff in her blog too. And these are all her watercolor palettes. So I was ashamed to say that I have most of her favorites. I have those. I have a few of her student grades, but not many. But like out of her top, there's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 out of her 21. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 out of her 21 that she has. Actually, that's a double, so 22, because it was a tie, and there was another one that was a tie. So she has 23, I think. And so I have half of what she has. And remember, she gets her stuff free most of the time. I paid for all mine. So, but I have those. And then the other thing I do that this just came to me, but I think it's such a smart idea, I'm telling you. So I put what kind of sketchbook it is, because I use them for different things. I have a sketchbook that's just for ideas, and I have that up there by where I sit. So this is Masterboard Backgrounds, because that's what it was all going to be until Lindsay. And then this was the only sketchbook I could grab. So it has that stuff in it. But I put the date I started so that I know, especially if you're, crafting in them. And then they always have the band around them or a sticker label. And I put what it is on the inside. So I know what the paper is, acid-free, plain notebook paper, 80 pounds. So I have all of that information. And then I always decorate. You guys, everybody's sending stickers out right now because we can get them so cheap. And obviously Mr. Vincent is my fave, with a sunflower, one of my faves. But I love this one. I know it's sideways to you, but it's Vincent and Mona and the car smoking a cig after they've, been in the back seat. And I thought that was hysterical. Oh, okay. I put together a little sampler card for you, Cindy. It'll go out in the mail tomorrow with Barbie's stuff and everybody else's stuff. And there's no chalkiness in them. You only have one you can't find? I have like 10 I can't find. We have this store. It's called, what is it called? 975 or something like that. So on Fridays you go and everything is $11 or $12. And then on Saturday it's 11, then 10, and then it goes down to 8, and they're closed on Thursdays to restock. But, so I went there and I got a box of mixed media XL paper by, I can't remember. I can just see the cover. Maybe Canon. I don't know. I got a box of 5, maybe 6 of them. I can't remember. No, it was 6, I think. I got the whole box for $8. And they're each, either they're the 120 or the 90 page ones. And if you buy them on Amazon, the cheapest that they've ever had them on sale for, or at any of the craft stores or anything, was $12 a piece. And they're spiral. And I really like spiral because then I can do, like, see, I can glue in it or whatever. And it'll be a gator mouth. It'll be fluffy. But it won't ruin it. I won't ruin it. So, yeah, I can't find those. And I would really like those because I would have done this in them. Hi, Anne. How you doing? It's like an Amazon bin store. Yeah, I guess so. Is that what your bin stores are like? It doesn't say that. They have a name. But it's in between me and my granddaughter's house or my daughter's house, So, but I only go by there on Fridays and Sundays usually. And they're too expensive on Fridays. Like, I'm not even going to attempt that. And then on Sundays, they're still $8, I think. And I'm not sure that that's really what I want to spend my money on. But if I get art supplies cheaper there, I don't mind that at all. Not at all. Let me put this out of the way. Let's see. So here's a tag I'm working on. So this tag was originally, you can tell by that punch, I don't have that punch. It was originally a packaging, and so I wanted to use this punch, so I cut it out the right size. And I have a whole ballerina book, because I don't know if you knew, I strove to be a ballerina for many years. So I love using my ballerina people. And then this is a beautiful napkin that I got, I think from Keisha's. I'm not sure though. So I had started working on this one. So I always do the fronts, like the front is always done, and I roll over my pieces if I can. It helps strengthen the sides. But I'll have to put a background on this because see, you can see the code, and I'll probably just put a background that covers just this part and not her legs and arm. Oh yeah, Cheap Joe's is good. The ones here start at 8. Well, I wish. Ours, they start at 12 or 11. It's some horrible number. Bear, just sit down, buddy. Cheap Joe's is nice. They also have a funny the grandpa is the one who opened it, so his grandson is who runs it now with his son maybe. And they have some good sales, and they are a good place to do it. Jerry's Artorama is another one that's a good one, and Jerry's the watercolor tubes go on sale at Jerry's pretty good, and Blicks, Blicks. Jerry's is Jerrys. Both of those are great. Most of the time, I'll just tell you the truth, that most of the time Amazon's cheaper than them. And tonight I was lamenting because I haven't bought any new supplies for like, a week, and I didn't have any new ones that I wanted to dig out for tonight that were right in front of me. But I went on a site that was selling some watercolor stuff, and it was highway robbery. They were the tube palette you're talking about that you got from to move for, what'd you say you got it for, $6 or something? They were selling it for $32, and that was their sale price. So I no longer I advocate that you buy the best materials you can buy. Paper is really the thing that makes or break a paint. I mean, that's the best way. You'll get the best results if you have good paper. But if you don't have the money to spend on good paper and you'd rather spend the money on good paints, then I say do that. It's okay. I've done both. In the end, the ideal thing would be to have the 100% cotton paper and the best paints you could buy. It's not always going to happen that way. Not always. So, Mr. Tag, I'll put you back in my book so I don't lose you. What I thought, and I have two different. So this is Making Art for Joy's Sake. This is by Christy Rice. Christy Rice, I think is her name. I could tell you right here. Yes, ChristyRice.com. There you go. Don't buy it from her .com store. It's usually cheaper from Amazon. So these are the paints. She had 2 palettes. This was her second one she put out. I love her. I like her tutorials. She's funny. She's, she knows what she's talking about. But her paints are dye-based, so they're not color fast, which is okay. I don't care about that. too much typically. But this palette lacks some color. I mean, it doesn't have it has the neon yellow and that's it. And it only has one blue. And that was, I always have trouble. I can mix colors, but you can't mix a yellow. So I have trouble kind of with this palette, but the colors are brilliant. I mean, like when you look at them, they have a brilliance to them. They're beautiful. And, you know, they're fun. It's a fun one to play with. And I got it when she had it on sale. I think it was I know it was under 25. As far as, I don't think it was under 20 unless I got her coupon, but I may have. One never knows. She also has her own line of brushes. And I would not suggest getting them if you're going to spend the money. I mean, her brushes are expensive. Brushes are just expensive anyway. Hers are not. I don't like hers. You can't hold very much water, and if you can't hold much water in your brush, then you can't hold much paint in your brush because you're holding watercolor. So I don't particularly enjoy her brushes. Now, there are lots of people who really love them. So everybody has to decide how they use their watercolor. Oh, okay. Okay. Anne, there's I have 3 opinions. One, I love watercolor on wood, and I do it. But I don't just I don't just take my piece of wood, which I may have one sitting right here that I could actually show you. Because it's going to just, because water hits the wood and it's going to go and suck up all your paint. Oh, here, I do have one right in front of me. So if you're going to do that, what's on the front of that one? So I happen to have a piece of wood right here. I got my water ready. I would not wet your thing first when you're using it. Let's see. I'll use this pink right here. Now I'm putting it on. Look how very, very heavy, so that it's like gloppy. It's not watercolory. And I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to do a heart. Those people. Oh, I don't like this brush. What are you doing, Bear? Bear, you can't get back here. You're too big, honey. So here you're going to see it's going to run a little. Right up at the top, it's running. I didn't make those jagged lines. That's just what the brush did, or just what the water does, and it's not going to look quite as brilliant. Now, I'm okay with that because it's watercolor, and I think that's okay. If you want it to be shiny, then of course just put your shellac or your spray finish, or whatever lacquer finish. See, you can see it's running. Here, I'll get in real close for you. And then let me see. Oh, I should have brought my new lamp back, but I didn't. There you go. See how it's running? That's okay, though. I mean, it's not bad. And then the other thing is there's this stuff called Watercolor Ground, and it comes in it comes in a big, big bottle too. And you paint that on first like you would gesso, and that seals the wood, and then it provides a place for the watercolor to stay on. You'll use less paint. So that's the thing. Or you can use gesso. They have clear gesso, and watercolor and gesso kind of play funny together. So me personally, I don't mind the way the watercolors look. I think I did all mine with acrylics though. Let me see. I think that's dry enough. Yeah, mine are all done with acrylics just because I had them. So I could do them that way. But see, it's spreading out a little, but it's not dry yet. So we'll keep it here. We'll keep it up there in the corner, and we'll watch it as it goes. Okay, Bear, honey, you're too big. You're causing problems. You can't lay down because you're too big. Ugh. No, that doesn't make you smaller. Ding-a-ling. So tonight, what I'm going to do, I'll do some with those colors, might as well. Of course, I got the big brush out, and you can't do the big brush. One problem when you have pans like this is, see, this is a what size inch? A 3/4 inch. This isn't even a whole inch. And it's going to be the right size. Lots of people don't like that. I don't care. Whatever. I'm not that particular. I kind of do like her pink. So what I'm going to do is make, this is shiny paper. So I'm not sure how well it's going to go on here or what's going to happen. So we're going to give it a shot. But I have been painting my papers for collage, or actually I made a piece of artwork on one. And so I let it dry, and then you can stamp on it. I doodle those flowers that I was showing you earlier from my book. I drew them on. One of the things I sent to Carrie the Crafter was I did sand dollars. I had a dark blue one that was on an old vintage book page, and I sent him sand dollars. So it's going to do the typical thing where it ripples up, but you after it dries, you just put it on under a stack of books. You should do that with most of your watercolors if you don't want them to be that way. I figured that would happen with this one. I didn't really care because I wanted to play, and I knew I was going to use some funky colors that I wouldn't normally use. So I'm going to do 2 columns here. Ooh, that's, if somebody wants to know what chalky is, this is what chalky looks like. That's when a paint is chalky. Ugh. Now, I can't say that that's because of Christy's paint, because I don't remember it being chalky when I used it. It may be because of this paper and the paint interacting. Ooh, it's really chalky. And chalkiness happens when you add white to watercolors too. So I'm going to do that one. I couldn't have filled my cup up any further. I'm telling you guys. I was too lazy to turn the light on. So I didn't. And I filled my cup up. Oh, this one's pretty. This one's pretty. Look at that. I may go over and put a couple coats on these on some of that book pages that I have that are from, the 1800s. They just held the water, and it was pretty, they looked pretty cool. This one, see, it's resisting because there's wax in the coating. See how it resists right there? That's okay. How many more of these did I pull out? I'm already bored doing this, which means you guys are probably bored watching it. Okay, let me see. What color? This green looks interesting. I don't remember. It looks tealy. Oh, it's nothing to write home about. Yeah, these the thing with me is that I can, even if this turns out and I don't like it and won't color on it or doodle on it, I know that I can use it for my collage fodder. Or in Cindy's case, decorating her journals up some, or selling the collage fodder or whatever. So there's a use for it. I'm not just wasting the paper. You know what? I think everyone needs some neon in their life. Don't you think? Okay. And that's the other thing. If you ever buy paints with neon that are watercolor, they're going to fade. Just know that. No matter what you do to them, they're going to fade. Woo-wee. But I could use like a pink highlighter and do doodles on top of the neon yellow. That might be kind of cool. And yes, highlighters, anything that I can make a picture with is an art supply, in my opinion. That's all right. It doesn't matter. I have gone through phases where I've had Prima or Confections paint. It was very popular before the outbreak. They I loved them. They were a little chalky. They were, you know, a little suspect, whatever. I didn't care because do I want to use these? I guess I will. These are I don't remember who made these. I don't. Oh crap! I hate that when they do that. These are a cheaper watercolor. I'll have to look back and see. I think those go that way. Maybe. It's purple. Okay, there, I'm back. Sorry. If you hit, God forbid you hit my thing. I can't read which colors those are. Ugh, you can tell they're crumbling. Gross. You can reconstitute all those crumbles because that's the thing about watercolor. Well, that's good that they don't look chalky because the chalky is what I don't like about cheap paints. That is the only thing. I used to have the Pelican paints that they sold at Walmart. You know, they were in a blue and a white thing and they kind of stuck on, and they were round, stuck up on top of each other. And I really liked them. They were too chalky. That was the only thing I did not like about them. What's this one? I use my press. And I've been painting for years, so you have to understand that I buy paints because I'm one of those people who's more is more with art supplies. This is the way it's going to go. So, and I'm okay with that. That's just the way it is. I'm going to set my paints over on this side. Maybe. So in this book, what was I doing in here? Okay, I can show you. I didn't start on the first page. So here's there's a watercolor I did. Not particularly thrilled with that, but if I go back in with ink now, I can fix this and make it look pretty. Or let me see if I can get further out. Hold on. There. Oh, okay, there. So there's that one. That's a typical one for me. There, I'm drawing Kim Veazey's, one of her gray parrots. They're called something gray. I don't know, but it's a parrot. She sent me some pictures and I started that. Okay. There's a cow. Oh no. I was trying to turn it so you could see his whole face here. There's the cow. I like cows. I like to paint cows. And then on the back of that page, I started a buffalo. So I have to pick between the cow and the buffalo, which is why I quit the buffalo. Because it made me mad I did that. Oh, I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to be. I started a drawing, but I don't know what it is. So this one, I was testing some paints and I was trying a different speckle, speckle method. So I have this, it's ready to go to do something. And then I started this. So I just laid paints down. Here's some circles, here's some squares. And I laid them down 4 across. And then I've gone back in and started doodling on them. So I did that. That's fun to do. So I got that started. I couldn't tell you what paints I did that one with. I probably did that on a live with Kim. You might be able to find it. So tonight, thing. So here, this is fully dry now. And it doesn't look bad. Granted, this isn't a true water. I mean, this has dye in it, so it's a little brighter than a normal watercolor, but not bad. Let me see here. There's a green in here, I think. I hope I like this color green. Well, I don't know. Okay, it's fine. So, oh, I was going to add, well, that's going to look weird. Oh, well, I'll just add a couple dots. I was going to put a leaf on there, but a heart doesn't need a leaf. There, and there. So we'll watch those dry and see how they do with the watercolor. So the brush I'm using tonight is a Princeton Neptune. They're a pretty pricey brand. I watch for them. It's a number 8 round. It's one of my favorites. I can't remember. I think it's synthetic hair, but it could be real hair. Don't quote me on that. I don't have a problem with real hair brushes. So yes, that would be African grays. Yes. Oh, good. I ordered some brushes from Taboo, so hopefully I will like them. I am not real picky about my brushes, as long as they hold water for me and I can do more than just like one stroke. I'm okay with brushes. Really, I'm not a snob. I do try and pick up the more expensive ones just so if I'm teaching classes or whatever, the kids or the adults that I'm teaching could see what the difference between like a $50 brush and a $10 brush. Because people don't know the different, well, is it worth it? Oh, in a lot of ways it is, but manufacturing's come a long way and you can make pretty nice stuff. Let me see here. I took a picture of what I was thought about doing. Oh, Kim, if you are, Cindy, if you want to, that's what I want to do. If you want to join the Makers Club, right now is a great time because they're getting ready to do their next swap, which is 3 ATC cards. And the theme is for May. What did I? Shapes. What kind of shapes? Geometric shapes. So what I'm going to do is, and I didn't bring a stencil in here. I'm going to do, how much is this? Okay. Put it like this. I think, that full paper. So I'm going to make a general heart. Not an anatomical one, just a basic one. You can't really see, maybe if I change there. You can't really see it because I did it very light because I just did it with a normal cheap pencil mechanical pencil from, Dollar Tree. So I'm going to prime my paints, which means I'm going to use this spritzer, and I'm just going to go in and melt the tops of them. That way they're all ready to go. Most of them will re-wet very well. Ooh, they kind of smell like dirt or something. Let's see. The first thing I want to do is, well, we need to make a flower somewhere. But I'm usually more comfortable making leaves first. Let's give it a try, guys. Okay, so I'm going to make a rose, not my bestest thing. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to drop some water. So I got my brush pretty wet and I'm just painting strokes, C strokes. So they just look like C's. You could kind of, oh, there, you can see it. You can see it. So I'm just doing that. And this is with my, well, what I'm calling clean water. Now, what color should we pick over here? I like, my husband's favorite color rose is kind of a peachy rose. I think I'm just going to do a pretty red one. And let's see, this is permanent red, alizarin crimson, crimson. That must be crimson light. This is true crimson and scarlet red and vermilion. So I think I'm going to go with this color. Who knows? You got to get a lot in there because you want it to travel on the water wherever the water is. Now, two things. Oh, that's already dried, so I may have to help it. I'm in Colorado, and the water dries like lickety split here. And I tried to put a lot down, but it's still dry. And that's okay. I can just use my paintbrush to go around here. So, and I was doing it without really seeing. So that's the start of the rose. I know you don't believe it, but it will become one. I promise. It will become. I need that. I need one right here. And I'm adding some without where the water wasn't. That's okay. It has to have those pieces too. So I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes. So I'm going to rinse my brush off. And let's put some purple berries going in here. Do I have purple or do I have to mix it? Oh, they have some purples. They have K-State purple. Even better. Oh, cool. Oh, great, Cindy. So you can look, and today they posted the challenge if you're interested. If you're not, never any pressure from me. Let's see. I'm going to make a big old, I'm going to make a fat. So for my rose, I'm going to make a lavender. It's going to come up, and it's going to kind of go around because, we want there. Just pretend with me. We're just getting started. And I like to repeat color a couple places. So I will probably put that. And I'll go back in and add some as it gets drier again. I usually work a lot wetter than I am tonight. For you, did I get black ATCs? No, I don't have any black ATCs. I have craft colored ATCs, and then I have from the store, I have like they're a thick kind of like poster board kind of thing. Oh, okay. Poster board kind of thing. And the watercolor paper ones that were pre-cut like at the store that you buy that are all ready for you. And then I cut some out myself. Oh, I have the craft ones. And then I cut some out myself out of heavier paper that I have. It's not like watercolor paper or anything. It's just some heavy paper. Let's see. I think we need like what are those things? Bluebells? Not the ice cream. They like flip over. Or lady slippers. I don't know what they're called. Lady fingers. I don't know. They're blue. I know that. So what I'm going to do is fill the heart in with all flowers. I usually stink at this. They don't usually turn out very well. But, among friends, why not? If you're going to fail big among friends, right? That's the way to go. See, that's 3. Then they usually have one at the top here that's not quite done and hasn't flopped over yet. So that'll be that one. There. And these are getting drier. I do know English language sometimes. Okay, I lost my paper towel. Oh, here, this one will work. So these are getting drier. So what I'm first going to do is, I don't remember which color I used for that, but I'm going to get a redder one. I put it on my brush. My brush was wet. I'm sick of the pop-ups. And it's dry in some spots. So my brush has water in it. Then I wiped it off so it wasn't dripping. And now it has red. And I'm just going to come in here and kind of spread in between them. And some of it will run, some of it won't, which is okay. Who knows? I'll probably go back in here with ink. I'll definitely have to do something with that, because that right there, that's called a mess. Let's see. I got red on here. I can't do red with my... These are going to need littles coming on. Oh, see, my paints that I spritzed are already dry, so I'm having to add water to get them to activate. So to me, one of the big keys when I buy paints is if they reactivate well. And so to me, it doesn't matter so much if they're not classified as professional, because I don't, whatever. I want them to reactivate well, because in my climate that I'm in, they have to. And I want them to, I like paints that aren't so predictable. If you want to know what your paint is going to do every time you put it down, then, good for you. That's watercolor should be a little bit more fun than that, I think. And I'm going to go for, a Core or a Rembrandt or Reuben, which you don't always know what you're going to get when you do those. Sometimes it just sits on there, and other times it'll explode out onto your paints, onto your paper. A lot of that also depends if you get used to using the same color of paper. Another thing I'm doing here is I'm just adding in, if I go one more down, I think you can still see. I'm just adding in blobs of color. I'm not like putting in every place that there would be on a flower, because when you look at a flower, unless you're right on top of it, it's really more of a shape with petals or whatever. And there's green in there. So I did put green in, but I'm going to go back over and add more purple. So you want to get the shapes. And then like this one was a little too light green for me, so I'm picking up some other greens. And I don't mix it on my palette. I'm just mixing it right on my paper like this. That's another reason I like cotton paper, because the paint will sit above it before it absorbs down. And like, see how I let it run? I bumped it, is how I used to explain it to the kids. And then it went into the blue. That's cool. Nature, if you look at them real close, you will see green going into flowers. It's like where they haven't ripened totally. So now, I don't think this one is ready yet. It's still, and the best way to tell if your watercolor is dry is to put it on the back of your hand. And if it still feels cool, then it's not dry yet. And it will surprise you at times that it's not like done. So a rose is a rose. You're going to need a leaf coming out. Well, that was a terrible leaf. I did it backwards. That's okay. And I'll do a leaf coming out this way. And so I made just a normal looking leaf like I usually do. But if you ever look at roses, their leaves have little jaggedy things. So I'm just pulling out some paint to like mimic that. And the reds run into the green a little. I'm not gonna have a cow about it. That's part of watercolor. If you want stuff that doesn't run, then you want acrylics. Gouache will even run on you. So oils can run if you put too much oil in them, linseed oil or whatever. But they also give you height and stuff when they do that. Now it looks like a twister. What were those things? Beyblades that my son played with? I think that's what they called them. That's what that looks like now. I've completed a Beyblade. So if you have fine tip markers or gel pens, those are fun to go back in here and create your lines. See, I'm adding some definition. This paint is dry. My hair. One thing since my surgery, my hair comes out more. I mean, I have a ton of it. I don't think I'll lose it all or anything, which some people do, but it's just annoying me because it's like I'm sitting here and I feel a hair on me. Ugh, I don't like that. I am terrible at roses, so this was a gamble. And you don't need to fill those white spaces in. In watercolor, you like the white. And that's looking better. It's not like terrible. It's not good, but that's okay. I was just doing this for fun. I needed some relaxation. I have had a migraine or whatever type of headache it is you want to call it for today's the second day. Had it yesterday too. So I'm trying to get stuff done. I'm getting ready for the springtime marathon auction on family reseller auction. It's Friday and Saturday. I don't think it's Friday and Saturday. And it's 40 sellers, each with a half hour. So 20 hours. And they do half of it on Saturday and half of it on Friday. And I can't tell you when I'm going to go on, but I can tell you that there's a high likelihood it might be, hint, hint, Friday early evening sometime. So that's all I can tell you, because it's nice to watch for everybody. There's new sellers there. I know that Hemlock Lady's going to be there. Well, she's one of the channels too. Francine's Finds will be there, and she does records. And she does some other stuff, but I like her records because she sings the song for you. You remember this song, and then she'll sing a couple notes for you, and she's good. So she's fun to watch. Amber from Ooh Ah Crochet will be there. Kim from It's About to Get Real. Me, Just Sandy's going to be there. Hey, Pam. I did not watch that. I'm sorry. I took some medicine for my head and I fell asleep. You should see her daughter, Cindy. Her daughter they're clones. I just think that's cool because I'm adopted and both my children don't look like me either. As sad as that is. Okay, I guess I'm probably going to need another rose. Ugh. So we're going to start with, oh, look at that. We started with a drop. So I'll make the drop into a C and then I'll put some water down. And I'm using a big brush. I tend to always use a bigger brush than, lots of people change brushes when they're painting, which you should do probably. And and it's not like I don't have enough brushes to do that. I do. I just, I don't. I think this one should be pink or purple. Are there purple roses? I want it to be pinker than that though. I think this is, maybe this is the pink. I don't know. So I'll drop some color in and you'll see where the water is. This paint isn't very explosive. I should have got one of my other paints if I knew I was doing this. which means that when you put it in the water, it doesn't move a lot. But I have paints that you put them in the water and they just explode. Those are my favorite paints. Those are my favorites. I'm trying to see where I put the water. I can't even see it now because I have all these bright lights on for the filming. I got a new light stand to film with and I meant to bring it in here today, but I forgot. So it's a big C lamp, or it's a big round lamp. It's a 10-inch round from Temu, our favorite site of all. There. This is going to have to stay this way. Oops, there. So I got that. It was missing a part, so they refunded me partial, which is fine with me because I don't want to have to mail it back and go through that rigmarole. And I can use it without that part. I was just annoyed that it was missing the part. So I was on customer service waiting literally almost 3 hours. Because my phone keeps track. You know how they do. I could not believe it. If I wasn't sitting there, I was watching something on TV. If I hadn't been sitting there watching something on TV, I would have not been happy. But it wasn't any big deal. These I don't want them to hit so much. See how dry that was? That's, here. Oh, where's it at? There. See how dry my brush was? Because I didn't want it to explode into any of the other ones. Because I wanted more control this time. That's the other thing. If you're a control freak, watercolor is not going to allow you to control it all the time. Which is good for you. I messed that puppy up. Uh-oh, I'm going to have another bluebell over there. Darn it. Oh, why did I do that? I don't know if these are really bluebells. In my mind, they are bluebells. There. Now I got 2 bluebells together. But I'm leaving that like that until they dry. Because now I can come back up here and work on this one. Let's see what color shall we have. Oh, there's a pool in that. All right. Oh, I worked on the right side. Oh, that was dumb. See? That was a bear hair, though. So, we'll put some. Oh, I should probably get a tiny brush out for this. I was left-handed, and my parents changed me before kindergarten. My mom was a teacher, and in the 70s, it was the thing to do because they still thought that it actually had something to do with your IQ if you were left-handed. And so I grew up right-handed, but I bat left-handed. I golf left-handed. I used to eat and drink and all that stuff left-handed. I will paint left-handed occasionally. I'm not as good left-handed. This looks like crap, but I don't want to smear what I got going on over there. So this will have to do. They change colors. I don't understand. I must have used a different color down here. So that's all right. They're flowers. Yeah, do you have my text? Or do you have my phone in? I could give it to you if you want. I'll say it out loud if you want. You could write it down or put it in your phone. I know everybody on these places likes to. I need purple again. Likes to text or likes to do Messenger, but you can just text me. That's fine. He was nearly 2 when you got him. My parents got me. I had been in a foster home, but I was only a couple months old. They drove through a snowstorm to get me. And it was right before. You ready? 720 979 720-979-6601. All the stalkers out there have my number now. Usually I send it with my stuff, my information, because I've had the post office call and ask if I have somebody's number because they're having trouble delivering or customs needs it. So I went in. I didn't move the camera. See, I had my first layer on there and it dried, and then I put the green in about the same time, so it kind of went in. Now I'm adding a layer on top of that. So it's looking more dimensional that way. And I know you can kind of see where I wrote there. I'll erase that. So now I'm going to go down here. One more down here. Down here. This one's kind of spindly. So I will add some. And I did it with different colors too, you know, because they're not all the same purple. We'll go around here. This one's green is better. That one's purple is better. So, and if you don't water your paints down, they can become, certain colors can become very opaque. And that's what I'm doing, is making these purples opaque as they can. Because it was annoying me. And see, we want the purple to go into the red here so that it looks like it's a real bunch. We may, oh, I bumped it. That's okay. I don't know if this is a real flower. I mean, like in my mind, it's a real flower. There is this flower that does this, but this purple flower that I do is one of my flowers that I always add into everything. I rarely put roses in anything. So, you know, of course I'm online in front of millions and billions and doing it. No, I was just being funny. So I, ooh, that's way too pink or too purple. Well, that's some red. See, now this is too purple. I can just go in and add the red because, you know, red and purple. If you add red to purple, it will just be a pinky purple. And that's cool. That's okay. I don't mind that. That I mind. That travesty I mind. So when I paint like this and I don't like what's going on here, I do try and finish them. I may not come back to it, but now what I do is I generally go back with watercolor pencils or some kind of gel or ink and then put in details that way. And then it helps me, you know, appreciate it. But honestly, if nothing else, it's good for my mental health just to paint. If I don't create, I become not a nice human. My husband prefers me to create. Oh, that's a yucky. I don't have my color swatch card out here with this stupid thing. So I don't know. And I don't paint enough. I actually got it because it came in a yellow. It came in the yellow palette. So I knew I could put some of my good paints in the yellow palette and it would be pretty. Yes, that's the whole reason I got it. And I knew my granddaughter can use these paints if I don't, because she likes to use grandma's good paints. And she ruined one of my favorite sets the other day. A supportive. Yeah, well, you know, in July it'll be what, 34 years, I think, that we've been married. So he's not supportive of the money I spend on it, but that's why I do auctions, so that I spend my own money on that. And he wouldn't care. either, but he's disabled now. So money's, especially because everything's going up, is tighter now. Otherwise, he wouldn't care that I spent money on it. As long as he would prefer to have me a happy person, a sane person, than have the extra $100 in his account. This is not drying well. So I reuse, like somebody got on me because I use paper towels, but I use it until they're dead. Till they have died. That one just happened to have a lot of water on it, and I used it last week and the week before, so we're going to sop some of this water up right here. Can you see that? Let's see. So it's very wet and pooly right there, so I'm just going to put my paper towel in it, and it just pulls it up. It just pulls the water up. It did get some of that, but that's okay. I'm going to put some green in with this one, so it's behind there. Ooh, 14 years. Yep, those are my... anybody makes it past 5 anymore in the world, I'm surprised. My daughter and her husband will celebrate their 12th this in December, I think is what theirs will be. No, Harley's going to be 11. So maybe it'll be their 13th. I don't know. I don't like where that goes. One of the advantages of watercolor is that you can wipe it up. These are pretty staining watercolors though, so let's see. We're going to back up a little bit so you can get kind of the view of what's going on. Not much, and it's not that pretty. Wonder what else I need. I need like a cool flower. Okay, I'll put a lily in here. Let's see. I'm good at those. We'll start with this color because that's the base. So a lily, and they come up. They have those great big trumpets. Got another one. Do the other one over here. Oh, I could have done a daffodil. I can't now because of how I started, but. And then we'll have. Oh, that was still wet. I didn't want it that way. We'll have to go in there when that dries. There we go. And then I'll have one right there. So, Anne, are you still doing auctions? I should go check and see if I'm even still subscribed, baby. That's why I don't get your notifications. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I didn't use a lot of water when I put it on, so it's not going to need as much time. I want to go in. I'm dropping water into my paints. So I want to go in and add some more green, true green to in between this guy. I have like really nice cameras, you know, and I got a camera mount from Temu that I'd wanted to try. So I'm going to try that and have it upstairs. So I'll have better camera thing, I think, there. So you can see that looks more like a flower now. The rose is coming along, I guess. I mean, I shouldn't be too harsh. So I don't usually use white, but this paint set, for whatever reason, came with it because it's a cheaper paint set. So let's, that white doesn't reactivate very well either. I'm going to go in here and see if I can put some white in. You won't see the white really. There we go. You can see where it's shiny. That had white in it. Maybe if I can get it white. because inside the rose is a lighter color, and the tips of the petals are darker. My fingers are fat tonight. Good night, Cindy. Oh yeah, no hurry. I apologize again. I need to remember that I'm not getting notifications and check. But like I said, I didn't even realize I bought something from you last week, so I wouldn't have probably even noticed. There's a hair. So, and I may go in this and add some white. Okay. Let's see. Tomorrow I get to a group from church is going out to a restaurant I haven't ever been to. It's like a pub. Kind of excited. I don't know what I'll eat, but I'll find something. The white didn't do too bad in there. I used the Signaball Uno to no, that's got purple in it. I don't want that. To do my whites usually. So I got the yellow, that yellow. So we're gonna get some orange in here. I had these lilies painted, I had these lilies last year that were going to come up in my yard and bloom, but the rabbits ate them all. They just like, because these are the one like daylilies that come up in like a stalk, and they just chomp from the top all the way down. I don't even know if they'll come back this year, but I tell you what, I don't want those rabbits to come back. They just look sad. So flowers are always darker on the bottoms and on the edges, and then they cast shadow. So I'm putting in some of that. And then the daylilies, these are like the tiger lilies. They have the they have like that put in there. Woo. I heard a ping. Okay. I have I usually watch you guys on my phone, but my pad is going off. So there we go. Okay. So it had like, it has like a yellow base, and then it has like gold over it. And so I'm using the ridges of the paper to help me make that. And I have a pretty dry brush. And then the ridges of the paper are just, it's like when you do a rubbing, like when we were kids, remember we went to the cemeteries, or at least my classes did, and we had to find the tomb, or the tombstones, or the grave markers of the of famous people that were buried in that cemetery, or like people who died from the flu or epidemic or whatever, and then we made rubbings of it to prove that we found them. Of course, I'm 52, so that was like ancient, and they probably don't do stuff like that now in schools. They probably can't even go to a cemetery because I'm sure it'll offend somebody. I want that to show up better. So I want some of that texture, and I don't want to have to go in and make it. There we go. That's going to look cool when it's done. I'm kind of happy with that one. So, oops, I just flipped water everywhere. Let's see. We need a green. Is this a good green or a bad green? That is, okay, that'll be okay. That's the color of the roses. That's the color of a rose petal leaf. There, dark like that. You can layer watercolors. That's what I'm doing, but they're remember, they're mostly translucent to transparent. So you will see whatever's under it, but that's why you always start with the lightest colors first and then go to the darker colors. There we go. And I'm going to make the stem a little. Lots of people will mix their colors on their palette. I always try. I do mix colors on the palette, but when you have a palette that's like this, that has so many convenience colors, so they have like 4 different oranges that I can pick from, and 3 or 2 yellows and 3 purples. So that's called convenience color. So I don't have to mix them. There isn't a reason for me to. So I will just, if like it needs the color or something on here, I'll just add it to it. That looks pretty good, except it looks like it's trailing off behind this, and I want it to finish that look. Okay, there we go. This is not realism by any standard. This would be called abstract realism. So you still know what it is. Like, it's a flower. It's supposed to be hopefully a rose or whatever. And that I don't like doing botanical. Well, I used to do botanical the way it looked botanically, but I don't do that anymore. No one got time for that stuff. I like to play too much now. So there we go. I don't really like the bluebell thingies. That was probably not the smartest choice to put in. So like that yellow is still in my brush. So I always tell people you just need to swish your brush, swish, swish. But the yellow wasn't coming out. So then you go to the bottom of your jar and like push it in there and then swish, 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 and then pull it out like this and give it its shape back, and then put it back in the water, and you're ready to paint again. And you've gotten rid of that yellowy color or whatever color's sticking in there, because that does happen. Don't freak out. And you're not hurting your brush if you just do that for a quick time. That isn't something you want to do every time you're cleaning your brush out. And you don't need to, because look, the brush there's just a little bit of paint on that. So there isn't a reason to. I don't know. I'm having a flower block. This may be as far as I get tonight. I mean, I think I'll put another yellow one up there. I don't think I'll do another rose. I think I'll just have 2 roses. I know that goes against the design principle of 3, but there are other ways to use that design principle. So I can make another red something and move it around somewhere, and then it would be 3 reds, not necessarily just the roses. So, I mean, there are ways to make your 3s or your odds that are different than just having one. I could just have one yellow one there, and then the rest of these be blues and purples. I don't know. I guess columbines are blue, or can be blue. They can be purple or mauve or whatever. I don't usually paint columbines either. I don't know what I'm going to do. But you can move your colors around that way and then use your design principles that way. So you don't always have to have 3 things that are all 3 the exact same thing to make the 3rd. You can use color instead of the item, like 3 flowers that are roughly the same, kind of take up the same amount. a visual space, but are different flowers. Yeah, see, that came out, the blue came out and I didn't have any problem with it. I need probably a blue up here just because then it will force your eye around. So I may just do a blue up here. These are not my favorite ones to paint either. Okay, so I'm going to have one here. And they have the rufflies. Oh, Anne sent me an attachment. Okay, let me look what you sent me. And then there's one here. And these did go out of the heart shape a little bit. That's okay. They will be out, but it's an, you know, when people look at it, they're going to know it's still a heart. Let's see what Anne sent. Can I show it to everybody else? Oh. You send it this way? Sure. Oh, that looks good. So Anne has burnt the little chickadee or whatever, and then she used watercolors. And there's the Ellie. Ellies are my fave. I collect Ellies. I love the headdress. I collect headdresses, so. And then those are the paints she's using. Those are from Michael's or Joann's, huh? I recognize that palette. That's turning out good. You're using like the tiniest brush possible. Okay, I lost my brushes. Oh, I put them over there. I was going to get out a little one. See, I got out a really tiny one because I thought that would be fun to paint with. I usually paint big, so this paper is 10 by 12 or maybe 12 by 14. See how far off I was. Oh, it only has the centimeters. Can't tell you. It's 36 centimeters by 26 centimeters. Is that centimeters? Yeah. So I don't know how maybe I'm close, maybe I'm not. We'll just say I'm close. I like these whatever they are because it makes it look like you're stair stepping down, and that's nice. I like that. I usually paint big, so if you're painting big, use a big brush. If you're painting small, use a small brush. Now, I always tell the kids that in this one, but there's a lot of detail in this. What am I supposed to do, Miss Henning? Mrs. Henning, or Mrs. H, whatever they were calling me. And I would be like, then you do the details with the small brush, but you do the painting with your big brush. Okay. They thought I would get, you know how kids are. They want you to get upset or be like, now, come on, you didn't really need to ask me that question. I'm like, no, I'll answer your questions. Then I may have you do the research to figure out why I said it too, if you annoyed me with your questions. So up here, this one's looking pretty good. I've got light green in there. I need some green down here though, right? Like in there. Until that dries, it just looks like brightness to you, I know. And then it's got a single stem. So I did put the green up through there. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, right there, even with that being right in the way. And I don't like it that it's that straight, so I will go in with my little tiny brush with a heavy paint on it, and I will put some things on just to cover it up. So there, so it looks more realistic. Oh yeah, that did. Your eye will naturally fill in things and shapes because your brain is wired to find shapes and to find, so like if you're looking at words, you know, it's wired to find words and meaning to things, because otherwise it feels uncomfortable and doesn't know what to do with the situation. Your brain. So, ooh, maybe this will turn out. You guys, I am a stinky. I love painting flowers, and I can paint lots of flowers. But my roses just never. I think my mom cursed me because we had roses from my grandma that my mom transplanted into our yard. And she had always wanted me to take them when we got our house, but we didn't get the one house that we lived in when she was alive, and they had that house. It didn't have a place for those kind of roses. So I think I'm cursed never to do a good rose because I didn't take them. I've thought about going back, we're going back to my husband's family reunion. He has 5 brothers and sisters. One has passed away, but the others are all still living, and they are all 14 to 17 years older than him. So that's, they're in their 60s, all of them. And so they're having a little get together, and they remembered to include him. Sometimes when you're the youngest by that much, you don't get included. And so we're flying back to Kansas. And I thought about stopping by my house I grew up in and asking if I could get a cutting of the roses, except I don't think it'll be late enough in May to do it. I think it'll be too late in May to do it. So I don't know. I have friends that live there. I guess I could ask one of them to do it for me. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have family left anymore. So Jeff just has his brothers and sisters. He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters still alive. His one brother crashed into the mountain that Cindy was talking about. If you watched her show tonight, she can see the mountain out of her window in Arkansas. Well, what they consider mountains. I don't think the elevation's very high. But his plane didn't have the correct altimeter readings that he was flying, and he crashed in the mountain and passed away. So they made aviation rules because of him. Some. Maybe, oh, hey, there's a gnat. Maybe that instead of being a rose, we could call it a carnation or something. You're 13 years older? My sister's 5 years younger than me. And she's not adopted. But we don't really talk or anything. I think I'm liking this better and better. Yeah, it's late for you, Ann, because you're on the East Coast. Well, there, it dried. It doesn't look bad. Not that nobody's ever bought. I have those leftovers, and I can't seem to get rid of them, so whatever. Now, in Utah, you're still in mountain time. You're still in my time. You're not in California time, Pacific time, right? Pam? And I know you have to get up with kids. Pam has, kids still at home. Crazy woman. Yeah, it's 11:40 there. Yeah, I usually stay on till around midnight, and then I go to It's About Reels channel if they're still doing it, or I watch Gail Agostinelli's because she puts her thing out at midnight every night. I watch hers, and then I go to bed. Like today, I got up at 9:30. I did pretty good today. I don't have anything to get up. If I have to get up, I'll get up. But if I don't have to, it doesn't matter. I can go to sleep whenever I want. Plus, I'm much more creative at night. My husband hates it. Because he's in bed. He goes to bed between 10 and 11 every day. And the dachshund goes to bed during that time too. He gets cranky if you don't. Now my big boy, Bear, who's sitting next to me, he goes upstairs and sleeps with them for about a half hour out on the landing and so he can watch them and me. And then he comes downstairs, and then if it gets too much past midnight, he starts huffing at me. He'll and then he's part husky, so he can talk a little bit, so he'll go ah. I'm like, what is your problem? I'm staying up till I want to go to bed. You have 4 school-age kids. Oh my God. Bless your heart. I'm glad I don't have school-age. My granddaughter's in 5th grade, and that's hard enough, her transitioning into middle school next year. But she's okay with it. She's kind of excited and scared. But some of her friends aren't going to the same school. There, we covered that mess up. Okay. So she's worried about that. And she uses a wheelchair sometimes because of her Ehlers-Danlos that I have, but I don't have it near like she does, and her mom has it. But Harley has it the worst, so her joints will, like she's popped her elbow and shoulder out, and she can pop it back in. So she can't do a lot of sports and stuff because of that. Well, or ballet. She can't do too much because just walking is hazardous for her. So she does have a wheelchair that she uses sometimes at school. And so she has a key because it's a 2 or 3 story building. Can't remember which it is. And so she has a key to the elevator. She's one of the only ones. And then the kids love to push her in her wheelchair. Kindergarten, 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th grade. Oh, to be honest, 2nd and 3rd, maybe 4th grade, but definitely 2nd and 3rd grade are my least favorite grades. Kids are just, I don't like teaching them at that age. I don't know. It's my least favorite age. In art, it's fun to teach them in kindergarten, 1st grade, because they're not so concerned about what things look like as just that you like it or whoever they're giving it to likes it. And then they start having to get into realism and stuff. So that goes on from like 3rd grade to the end of 8th grade usually, and they can't draw realistic. So some of them get really hung up on that, and it's really hard on them and hard on the art teacher. And then there's the middle school kids I like. They're fun. They're not quite as adventurous as the high school kids are, but they will. I can usually encourage them to try something. That's not really orange anymore, is it? So yeah, I love babies, like little babies. Those are my favorite. We were out. Harley had her school district does Shakespeare in the Park for the grade schools, and they all come. Well, as many of them participate in it, and they do it downtown at our Performing Arts Center outside. And so she had that Friday. And so we went, and then we had lunch afterwards, and there was a baby, and I was just like, oh, I'll hold it. I know I'm a stranger, but I promise I'll be good. It was little too. It couldn't have been over 2 months old, if that. It was little. And its mama was young. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, Ann. Can you get another one, or will your insurance pay for another one, or do you have to do that out of pocket? A lot of times I had to help my clients get theirs out of pocket. And it really stinks for them and you, because it's not fair. I don't have to go get a new leg. I just have to have knee surgery or hip surgery. But, I hope you can get a new one because I know you use it primarily. Harley's little wheelchair is like, 5 inches across. She's so tiny. So now I am going to use this orange that was red. Oh, that's not dry. Well, I'll have one come out this way. I'm going to have one because they have those really bright little stamens, I think is what they're called. I took botany. I just don't remember. And I'll have one that goes up here. And then oops, I'm going to drip there. Let's see. Can I put little dots in here? Or are we not dry enough yet? Not dry enough yet. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, we need to get you doing some auctions, girlfriend. Big auctions. Yeah, our heater broke. So we're going to have to, and air conditioner, it's all one system, it broke. So we're going to have to come up with some, but not like that. Is there, just because I'm a social worker, or is there a place that you can apply for like a grant to help you with that? Because I would think that would be what are you doing? That would be that kind of situation that there's some program you could apply to for that. I didn't like the way this was going against this, so I'm going to try and make a petal there and maybe a petal out here that kind of floppies out. You know how they do as they're kind of coming to the end of their lives, the petals. They kind of flop. Bear, stop. Yeah, good boy. You don't need to pant. Bear, you're okay. Lay down. Come on, lay down. Come on, lay down. Sorry. I have a neurotic dog that's having problems. Good boy, Bear. There you go. You calm down. Oh, I can make those. Okay. He has high anxiety. And when I'm in here, it causes high anxiety for him. Oh. Well, I've helped with wheelchair ramps before. At least they're not hard. If you just got to get the rampage, the tilt on them the right way. There, please. Come on. Oh, and I bet there is. Let me see if I can find my stuff where I helped. Because I know I had 2 clients that I helped with that. I know one was a veteran, so that was different. But I think there are others, too. Maybe we can see if we can't help you some with that. If you want me to. If you don't, I'm sticking my nose in where it doesn't belong anyway. That's the therapist in me. Sorry. Let's see. Let's make a flower right here. Yeah, there should be a way though that you can, even married filing joint or whatever, you should be able to show that and get that written off. Because that's what my daughter has to do for Harley. Whenever Jacqueline is making more money, they have to finagle things. So I mean, I understand what you're saying. Okay, there's a purpley red, so that helps kind of with the flow. But usually those flowers come in groups, so I have to make a couple more of those. Oh, I didn't want it to do that. Took off too much paint, so I'll go back in and add some more. Oh. Yeah, things like that, just, we should not have to worry about it. People who need those things should just be able to get them, I think. It's really funny because I think that, you know, and I grew up in a family where the belief was however hard you work is however much you get. And I can tell you that ain't true. My husband and I have worked hard in our lives, and that doesn't mean we got what we wanted. There, and I'll do one more in that little, but I think I want to maybe make it, I think I will mix a color for this, for the third one. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this over here. So I'm going to pick up the color I've been using for that, wet my brush, and I'm going to put it right here so you can see it. You can tell I don't, it beads up on there. That's, I don't ever use these paints. These were a new set I got in the summer, and I haven't really played with them. And I want to add a little, I think I'll add a little of this blue that I used on the bluebells, because that helps make it cohesive when you're looking at it. So there's just a little on that tip. Oh yeah, that turned into a chalky mess. Oh well, I'm still going to use it. I'll fix it. Hopefully it won't be too chalky. So we'll put in, it's not wet there. There. And one more out there. Usually they have 5 petals. There we go. And that chalky mess made me mess up the poor flower too. There we go. Not too bad. Now I need to add some leaves in there. Leavies. I actually enjoy making leaves more for these things than anything. So I'm going to put these, this is a dagger brush. It's called a dagger brush. So it comes to a soft point like that. I have a smaller one of these. There, I'm back. Something moved though. Okay. So, and then this type of brush is called a cat's tongue. So you can see the difference. The dagger is like a cat's tongue on the side. A cat's tongue is in the middle. Goes to a point, but it's flat. Unlike the round. Okay, so I didn't have a smaller dagger. Not in here. Actually, way over there on my bookcase, there's the one. I can see it. It's taunting me. But I'm not going to get up and try and make it over there because it's too messy. I'm going to put some green in here, but I'm not really going to make leaves. It's just going to be the hint of green. So I get a brush and I take it, there was water in it. There's a lot of paint, and I'm just going to kind of dab it off. And then I'm going to go in here where the green would be for the leaves, foliage. And now you see there's a little color on that one, so that's okay. It just came from them. And I kind of make it drag out to a point here. And then over here, I will take advantage of my cat's tongue, and I'm going to put it down and bring it up. See how it made that? That made a leaf all by itself. I didn't have to do it. Down and up. I pulled a little fur back because I didn't want I need a little darker. I didn't want it to run into the purple too much. So I'll add another one down. And oops. Oh no, I know it's late. We don't want any of that. My computer doesn't have much RAM memory space left on it. Actually, it has none, so it can't do the updates. But I don't really have money to buy a computer because I have to buy a new heater and air conditioner, which is okay. And our boarder, my son was our boarder. He moved out because he got a real job. Well, he had a real job, but he lived with us still then. He moved out, so we lost his rent. So I have to make money anyway because my husband can't. So I'm just putting in a couple different colors of green in there. Now I'm going to go in and I may use this stick. This is a crappy brush. Look, you see how the bristles stick out like that? That really annoys me because her brushes were expensive. This is from Christy Rice. Water Curious is the name of this one. And it's a #1 cat's tongue. And I've only used it twice before tonight in 2 other sessions. And yeah, your brush should not do that. That's not a good sign. In fact, that annoys me that it does that. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, that's still too wet. Okay, that may have to wait. But you could see things are starting to fill in. I may take, Bear, you need to stop, honey. You're okay, bud. I promise you're okay. So I took some of the color that I was using for that and I watered it down, and I may put a little bit of it back behind some of this just to fill in some of it. Night. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why that's on there. Oh, I see. Hopefully I'll talk to you later. I miss talking to you. I don't get to talk to anybody anymore. It's my fault. I'm not on internet. I could be. I just don't have the motivation. And also, since my surgery, I just feel sick a lot of the time. And I do okay with headache sickness. Like I grew up being headache sickness and that, but I've never had I had ulcers, but I never had like stomach problems. So it's really weird for me to have stomach. It's just like, ugh. Like I think I'm going to die when I have a stomach ache, or I feel like I'm going to throw up. There we go. Okay, I think I'll go back to that little brush. I'm really annoyed that brush looks like that, though. One of the other brushes I bought from her. Well, I bought a set. It came in a set because that's how she sells it. But it looks like that, too. So I'm going back with the really small one. In fact, this is called it's a Hanover. This is series 227, and it's a #2, but that's a #2 in the little ones. When they get micro small like this, they have a different system that they follow. So yeah, I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to probably get off in a few minutes because my back's starting to hurt. Well, it's not my back. It's my neck and my shoulders. But I don't have the best chair to paint in. It's one of my kitchen chairs, my good kitchen chairs. And I paint at a table. And I paint with the painting flat. I've always done that. Or just a slight incline. On easels, I don't. Watercolor isn't typically done on an easel anyway, because it would all flow down. But yeah, so I don't do it that way. So my neck does start to hurt, and it was already hurting with my headache that I had. It takes a medicine to go to bed. I think these will turn out okay once they dry and I can go in and put the details in. And I may do that with marker or something, and I may come on another time. I try not to come on when other people are on, just because those people have been on those times for a long time, and I don't want to like step over them. I know it's everybody's internet and stuff, but I make my living. Well, art is how I make my living, or used to be before, the C word. When no one buys art during the pandemic. And so I don't want to take, away viewers who might buy something from somebody else. I just have water on my brush, and I'm just going to go in here and kind of mess it up a little. It pulls off paint when it's doing that. I didn't like it. It wasn't quite how I wanted it. It's getting closer though. There. That one, these are going to turn out good when they're done, because you put yellow in the middle and stuff. So yeah, it's 12:03. Oh, I almost did it perfect. So I want to just, if you were here at the beginning and saw me do this, here's what those pieces of paper turned out like. It feels pretty good. It feels like you could tell there's something on it. This one, you can see how chalky the purple was. There's the pink. There's the blue. I may do one. I don't know. I may not do any more to those, and then I may just do drawings on them. So that's for a future video. Let me see. My paints are all dry. Here in Colorado, everything dries so fast, so I can close my palette. So I did. I still leave it flat though. I have a whole stack of palettes. All my brushes have been reshaped into their appropriate shapes. And there's no water left on them. In them, they're all dry. This one's dry. This one's dry, and this one may be a little damp. But I'll leave them laying on a brush rest or here. Actually, what I'm going to do is leave them laying like this. Oh, maybe not that way, to show you this way. So they're elevated, but I don't want the water to seep back in and cause damage. So I leave them like that. So tomorrow I'll put them in my brush stand. And let's see, this will dry. I'll leave it up there to dry. And I will be ready to go then. Tomorrow I can come back and start again on this painting, which is what I like to do. I don't want to have to clean up just to start painting again. So this side's getting full. So I may like this when it's done. Who knows? Maybe it will turn out. So if you have any questions, you can always, I have my email up there, designsanddoovers@gmail.com, or you can put them below in the comments. That always helps the algorithm stuff. And if you're not a subscriber, the best way to find me again is to hit the bell, because there's a lot of people out there and it's sometimes hard to find them again on YouTube. And then if you have any questions, there's my email. And then if you leave a comment afterwards, that always helps too. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed watching me, which if you stayed, I'm sure you did. Enjoyed something. You learned something or enjoyed something. So you can hit the bell or hit the thumbs up. And all of that is free. It's free to subscribe. It's free to like whatever you're watching. And that's for everyone on YouTube. So it helps the people that do this. And I'm trying to get up my hours I'm monetized except for I don't have enough watch hours. That's why I'm doing so many lives lately, because then I can get more watch hours. I'm at, I think you need 4,000 and I'm halfway there. So if you watch a second time, that helps me too. So I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you around the tube, and have a good weekend and be safe, or a good week and be safe. Bye.